Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start again.
Yes, sir.
So Abhimanyu, tell me the meaning of your name.
Sir, I had searched about it, but there's no particular meaning to Abhimanyu. But, sir, it is symbolic of extreme courage and bravery.
Okay. So you are working in Nabard as an assistant general manager.
Yes, sir.
And so tell me something about what is the role of Nabard in managing the cooperative sector of India, especially the banking sector?
Sir, if we talk about the cooperative banking sector, Nabard is the supervisor of these institutions. So, the kind of audit and regulatory functions, the supervision that is done, is being done by Nabard. Second, sir, Nabard also acts as a refinancing institution to these banks. Nabard provides concessional credit, both short-term and long-term, to these institutions.
What is the interest rate at which the credit is given to them?
Sir, as far as the short-term credit is concerned, it is given at 4.5%, whereas the long-term one varies according to the market situations. Sir, there is a differential. Like there is a long-term rural credit fund LTRCF, which is more concessional in nature. It is currently around 6.5%. When we talk about the LT normal, the long-term normal finance, that is at a higher rate. It's more or less attuned to the market rates at around 8.5%.
Okay. So basically the difference interest rate is subvention is done by the government, I believe.
Yes, sir.
Coming to the SHG link program of Nabard.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me any important SHG operating in Haryana right now, which is where the Nabard is associated with?
Sir, Nabard has formed several thousand SHGs in the state of Haryana and also providing them with training support. And there have been many successful SHGs that have emerged and are also into kind of businesses and micro enterprises. Yes, sir.
Okay, so basically that help is via some banking institution, via some commercial bank, or is it directly?
Sir, as far as the credit linkage part is concerned, some bank is there. So Nabard is not directly financing them. Whereas the other initiatives like for their marketing and their training support, Nabard is engaging with the non-governmental organizations to do that.
Okay. Coming again to your role as a manager in the cluster office. So what exactly is your role?
Sir, basically, the cluster office caters to the field work of Nabard. So, our major role can be representing Nabard in various district forums. So, there are various committees which Nabard happens to be part of. So, we represent Nabard there. Second, sir, is also institutional building, like, sir, being the supervisors of the regional rural banks and the cooperatives. So, we participate in various review meetings and we also guide them for their functioning. Third is the monitoring of various infrastructure projects that Nabard has financed to the state governments, and also implementing, conceiving and monitoring the developmental projects which Nabard is directly undertaking for self-help groups, for farmer producer organizations, etc.
Government has envisaged that we should create around 10,000 FPOs.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me exactly how FPOs are operating? And do you think that they will address that concern where the farmers' produce are able to reach the market, where the remuneration is better?
Yes, sir. Sir, farmer producer organizations is a step towards collectivization in the agriculture sector, because the small and marginal farmers do not have the kind of requisite wherewithal or the know-how and also the resources to become an effective channel in the agri-value chain. Now, sir, farmer producer organization effectively, if they have to function, they have to target the various nodes in the agri-value chain, like the input, like supply for seeds, fertilizers and pesticides. The production anyways the farmers are doing. But the most significant is the output stage, the post-harvest stage, where the farmers are currently not there in a bargaining capacity. Now, their storage, processing, trading and marketing, that comes in handy, where farmer producer organizations can play a big role. So we have seen a few good FPOs. I've myself worked with some, which are into trading of produce. They have also ventured into the storage of, like sir, I could recall one of them is Nilokhedi Farmer Producer Company, which is now into onion storage and marketing of it. So they are reaping the price of the price differential that happens between the seasons. As far as processing is concerned, sir, currently I do not see that FPOs are being very effective there, because there they have to compete with big players like Nestle and Kisan, all these firms. So, but in due course, that should be the direction, sir, where the FPO should be heading to.
Okay. Coming to you've done your engineering from YMCA, right?
Yes, sir.
And post that, you've been working in almost 6 years, 7th year of your job.
Sir, I've completed 7 years in Nabard.
7 years, right? So 7 years as in Nabard. Then currently you're also pursuing MA in political science, and you also are a UPSC aspirant.
Yes, sir.
So it's been multiple faceted work that you've been doing.
Yes, sir.
How has been the journey since last few years?
Sir, it was never planned as such. Basically, sir, during my graduation, I realized that my aptitude is for a public service, because of the ultimate motive of a public service, which is not for any profit generation, but getting a good, respectable job, plus also the products of your labor is going towards the benefit of the society and the nation directly. So that really was a trigger point that I should pursue a career in civil services. And Nabard, because of my preparation of civil services, sir.
You got into Nabard.
Yes, sir. And I consider myself extremely fortunate to have come in such a wonderful organization where I could do hands-on work for public service, and especially for the deprived sections of the society like small and marginal farmers, the rural women. And that also again motivated me to take up the exam again after a hiatus of almost 5 years.
Coming to now, India, in agriculture, India has a structural problem.
Yes.
We have a challenge where maybe more than 85% farmers, they are categorized as small and marginal.
Yes,
and
sir.
being in small and marginal means their land holdings are small. So by that account, if the land holdings are small, automatically it cannot translate into a high yield.
Yes, sir.
So what is the way forward? What reforms can India do, especially because the average farm land holdings will eventually decrease; they will not increase in
Yes, sir.
the course of time. So how do we improve the remuneration of farmers in long run?
Sir, first aspect is what we just discussed, is the collectivization. Now, farmer producer organizations are currently working after the production stage, but they are still yet to come for collectivized farming, which should be the ultimate goal also. Maybe 10 farmers, 20 farmers can pool their lands and they can do an economies of scale farming for particular niche products and also process them and market them. So one thing can be that, sir. Second, sir, is the new types of farming practices are required. Now, even with the smaller land holdings, the traditional cropping pattern is not going to work. We need to go for integrated farming systems and also precision farming techniques like the protected cultivation.
But they're highly cost intensive. Do you think that a small farmer has the resources to do such level of farming?
Sir, indeed, like the protected cultivation structures are expensive initially. But with the government support, which the government is already providing almost 65% subsidies there, so we can still nudge the farmers towards that area, and some kind of bankable solutions, like sir, some subsidy component and a little bit of margin support and the banking support that can be channelized into a technology infusion into the farming sector.
You did just not discuss about the nudging the farmers.
Yes, sir.
So, who gave the nudge theory in economics?
Sorry, sir,
Okay.
I don't know about this.
As a field person who has seen, especially how the farming is doing, or rather involved with the self-help groups, to what extent do you feel that behavior takes role? For example, if government have to nudge the people, then what initiatives should government take? For example, let's say instance of if you have to diversify the crop and
Yes, sir.
you want to move from X crop to Y crop. So what government should do in that area? And do you think that are we doing enough in that area or not?
Sir, I have been fortunate enough to practically work towards that aspect, especially the crop diversification. Sir, we did crop diversification from paddy to kharif onion production. Now, sir, the initial nudge that is required is providing certain incentives to take up that farming. Like, sir, suppose paddy, you're required to shell out 40,000 per acre per season. And maybe the onion crop requires you to do some 70-80,000, including the investments in drip irrigation and mulching. So that additional quantum, if the farmer can get, not the whole quantum, so the farmer can be incentivized initially. So he will not bother shifting to that. And second and most important thing is that the demonstrative effect. So once that is done, then the demonstration effect should be very clearly publicized. There should be regular visits of the farmers to that place. And when they talk among each other, sir, that is the best way we can nudge the farmers towards it.
Okay, fair enough. Now I'll be taking one or two more questions, then I'll pass on to this, sir. Now you have been a discipline captain at school, right?
Yes, sir.
So being a discipline captain, how does it, is it a different from a regular captain, or how do you discipline it? Or do you think students should be given to discipline students themselves?
Sir, I believe the ultimate discipline can only come from inside. But since we had a system that there would be 4 captains, like one would be for sports, one would be for extracurricular activities. So one of them was discipline. So I was tasked with ensuring discipline in the school, like proper time to come to school, proper moving in the lines, not getting late for the for assemblies, and also be properly dressed. So that was my task. And sir, in that also it is difficult because ultimately many of them are your friends and then you need to discipline them. But sir, even they also understand that it is one's duty.
That discipline does ever give you a feeling of power when you were disciplining students?
Sir, more than power, it gave me the feeling of responsibility because I had to myself ensure all the things which I am preaching or telling to others. So it was a constant responsible position, sir.
Okay, fair enough. I'll pass on to sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Being as a discipline captain of the school, so you were always on the time in your school days?
Yes, sir.
Never ever late?
Sir, before becoming discipline captain, I may have been late a few times, but sir, post becoming one, I was always on time.
Very good. So, dear, you are basically received a letter of appreciation from the government of India regarding this crop diversification.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, which type of letter it was? It what was the role you have done for that you got this appreciation letter?
Sir, it was a DO letter that I received from the Honorable Minister of State, Shri Kaushal Kishore Singh. And basically, sir, when I was posted to Karnal district, so I conceptualized this project along with a farmer producer company, and with the help of their inputs, I could develop and recommend that project for ultimate sanctioning. And sir, we implemented it for 50 acres in the district, and we had got very good results. We could save upon a lot of water, 97 to 98%. We could check upon the stubble burning because paddy was no more there. And sir, we could enhance the income to the tune of 3 to 7 times what they were getting for paddy.
So the stubble burning is a major problem these days.
Yes, sir.
NCR, Delhi, this is polluted with the stubble burning.
Yes,
so
sir.
What your organization is taking the step for this stubble burning, checking in Haryana and the Punjab especially?
Yes, sir. Sir, Nabard was one of the pioneers to institute steps in this direction. We got a project sanctioned from the Ministry of Environment and Forest for crop residue management. Now it entailed basically awareness generation through NGOs and government departments for adoption of in situ crop residue management techniques like use of happy seeder, super seeder, rotavator. Second, sir, we also provided grants to the state government departments to distribute maize seeds to diversify from paddy to maize, sir. But unfortunately, sir, that could not be that successful because somewhere there were apprehensions from the farmers to adopt maize in that regard.
Hold on. After Green Revolution, how it is difficult in your state, Haryana, to diversify the crop because the farmers are highly dependent on the paddy crop these days.
Indeed, sir, after Green Revolution and the subsequent MSP support and assured procurement by the government, it has become difficult because farmers have become more risk averse. They find comfort in just doing paddy, and also they do not want to change their farming practice because that requires a lot of labor and technology infusion also. But still, sir, I believe that with proper incentive mechanism and as we discussed the nudging effect, we can still chip in for crops like maize, we can go for onion production, we can go for even groundnut production in the southern Haryana districts which have lesser water. Yes, sir.
But in the northern Haryana, like in the district of Karnal and from your district as well, the water level is already very high. So do you think that the maize-like crops, like core cereals, they are possible in that high water level fields?
Sir, certain areas are facing the issue of waterlogging. Now, for those places, paddy can be the crop. But, sir, there is a lot of inter-regional variations. So, there are like some of the blocks in Karnal, they are overexploited in nature. So, they need to be specifically targeted, sir, for it.
What are core cereals?
Sir, core cereals are type of millets. And sir, they are known for their high nutrition value.
So why they have high nutrition value? How they are different from the normal cereals? Have you heard about the gluten content?
Yes, sir. The gluten content varies in different cereals, sir, but I am not sure exactly.
Leave it. You got one more certificate regarding your reclamation work done in the alkaline soil.
Yes, sir.
So what is this alkaline soil?
Sir, alkaline soils are the soils which have a pH value of more than 8.5.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So basically they have an excess of bicarbonates and carbonates of sodium in the soil, which makes it difficult for germination and also makes the soil very hard. So that reduces the productivity of the soil to the tune of 40%.
What method do you suggest for its reclamation?
So there is a tested method for its reclamation, that is the use of gypsum. So basically in this the carbonates of sodium are substituted with the carbonates of calcium and calcium. So that basically, sir, makes it less alkaline. The pH value starts increasing because of it.
So gentlemen, okay, so your email ID is malik@gmail.com. So what is the meaning of this .com? Are you aware?
No, sir.
Okay, forget. Union Public Service Commission, the first line that is written in your DAF. Are you aware about the word of this union? What is it?
Sir, union basically is mentioned in our constitution also, and it basically stands for the center, the central government.
Which part of the constitution talks about this union?
Sir, the article first.
What it says?
Sir, India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states.
Okay, so what is the union of state? How it is different from the territory of the state? Not aware?
Sir, union basically symbolizes a kind of federation, but union is different from an ideal federation because here there is no process of seceding from the union. It's an indestructible entity.
Okay. One more thing related to this aspect. Recently, a lot of politicians and the socialists also demanding that the name of our country should be changed. like the India, that is Bharat, it is used in the first article of our constitution. So they are suggesting that we should drop this India because it has some colonial legacy. What are your views regarding it?
Sir, I believe that we do not require any kind of name change, because in the very first article of our constitution, India has been given an alternative name, Bharat, and both can be used alternatively wherever one wants to. So that debate is not needed, sir. And secondly, sir, I do not see it just as a colonial legacy, because from where the name India came was from Hindi, Indus, Sindhu. So all of these names are somewhere linked. So India is also one of the offshoots of that only, sir. So it also symbolizes somewhere our culture. Yes, sir.
Have a session. Okay.
Sure,
So I
sir.
will take it up and
You are coming from the Sonipat, Haryana,
Yes, sir.
and you are born and brought up there in the Sonipat.
Yes,
You
sir.
studied there in the Faridabad
Sir, for my graduation.
for your graduation.
Yes, sir.
And you have done your graduation in mechanical engineering.
Yes, sir.
Right? So what difference do you find in the geographical, you can say the landform between the Sonipat and the Faridabad?
Sir, although both are mostly plain areas, like Sonipat is an alluvial plain, which is the kind of delta, not delta, sir. It is the kind of plains formed by the Yamuna River.
Yamuna, Sonipat is in the bank of Yamuna.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Continue.
And sir, Faridabad more or less is same, but only exception is that it also has a hill range passing through it, the Aravalli Hills.
Okay.
So the northern trip comes as far as to Faridabad, sir. Otherwise, sir, the landform and the even the height from the mean sea level is almost similar. Yes, sir.
So this Haryana basically has a Aravalli range as well.
Yes, sir. In very few districts, sir.
In very few districts. And Supreme Court also banned the stone mining in the Aravalli range in the Faridabad.
Yes, sir.
So, but still there is a mining that is done over there.
Sir, most of it is illegal in nature, sir.
So, being as an IAS officer, if you will be posted there in the Faridabad and
Yes, sir.
say the DM or a DC of that district, then what step you would take to curb those illegal minings?
Sir, first step would be to sensitize the police, and the SOPs may be issued to the nearby police stations as to the kind of monitoring they need to ensure in those areas to check upon illegal mining. Second, sir, certain technological things like monitoring through drones. So, a regular monitoring in that regard can also be done. Third, sir, I believe some nodal officer may be appointed from the mines department itself, who can be tasked with the responsibility to provide daily information as to any instances that he has witnessed, or what is the level of the resources present there, any kind of a decrease in that, so that will tell us the level of mining that is happening or illegal mining that is happening.
Is there any legislation to protect the Aravallis or any type of legal guidelines under some act by the government of India or your state government?
Sir, all the guidelines or rules that are issued or the orders that are being issued are under the Environmental Protection Act itself. Yes, sir. So, the Forest Department or the NGT, they are utilizing the act to curb any such.
There is one draft, that is Aravalli's notification draft of the 1992.
Okay,
That is for
sir.
the protection of Aravalli. Are you aware about this draft?
Sorry, sir, I'm not read it.
Being as a captain, no, you were this discipline captain, and you were talking about the dress code as well.
Yes, sir.
These days, a lot of you will cry in your neighboring state of Rajasthan regarding the dress code, like the burqa ban demand is there raised by the minister, civil education minister.
Yes, sir.
So, what are your views about these issues? Should we have a uniform dress in the school, or we should respect the religious values of some communities?
Sir, I believe it's a very delicate balance that we need to strike in this. And the most important aspect, sir, schools are a platform where some kind of a discipline and uniformity also has to be ensured. But then, sir, again, it should not go in a way against right to religion. Now, the fine balance can be the essential religious practices test. So, if something is part of the essential religious practices, so if it comes out, sir, the burqa or the hijab is an essential religious practice, so that may be allowed, sir, because that is a fundamental right. But, sir, if it is not a part of it, then definitely it can be curbed in favor of ensuring uniformity and discipline in the school.
But gentlemen, in the name of the religious practices, if they are essential, like the Constitution itself says, Article 25 says, carrying kirpan is fundamental rights of the Sikh community.
Yes, sir.
Wearing turban is a fundamental rights of the Sikh community.
Yes, sir.
That is laid down by the Supreme Court in various judgments.
Yes, sir.
Right? Don't you think if they will carry the kirpans, chakus and the swords, talwars with them in the educational institutions, especially in the schools, then don't you think it will affect the discipline of the school?
Sir, indeed it does, and more so it is related to the safety and security of the students also.
Sure.
So anything, sir, that jeopardizes that, so that can definitely be curbed, sir, I believe. But as far as harmless things and also part of the essential religious practices, they may be still allowed, sir.
So your hobby, come to your hobby. You are very fond of the playing shooting volleyball.
Yes, sir.
What is the weight of the shooting volleyball?
Sir, it's not a standard sport, so it still varies, sir. There are some lighter balls, heavier balls.
How shooting rules are different from the smashing volleyball?
Sir, in shooting volleyball, there are 7 players that play the game, whereas we have 6 in smashing volleyball. Sir, the most significant difference is the number of attempts one has to take to cross over the ball to the other part. In shooting volleyball, one gets only one attempt to cross over the ball, whereas in smashing we have 3 attempts. And sir, in shooting volleyball, it is still played with hands tied and with a softer ball, whereas in smashing volleyball, while boosting the ball, one can still play with the open hands. And it's played with a softer ball vis-a-vis the shooting volleyball.
What else?
Sir, the point system is different. Like in shooting volleyball, there is a game of 14 or 21 points, whereas in smashing volleyball, because it's an international game, so the standard is 25 points, sir.
Okay, very good. What about the central player? Central player is fixed in the shooting?
Sir, it is not fixed, but there is also no requirement of rotation. So he may, according to his will, he can change position anytime. But in smashing, sir, they have to rotate as a rule. Yes, sir.
Okay. One more thing. Can we use the legs in the smashing volleyball?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. You are fond of the singing as well?
Yes, sir.
Which type of song did you sing?
Sir, normal Hindi movie songs, both old and new, sir.
Both old and new?
Yes, sir.
Who is your favorite singer?
Sir, it is difficult to pick and choose one, but sir, I like Mohammed Rafi, I like Kumar Sanu, Sonu Nigam, Lata Mangeshkar, Shankar Mahadevan in the current times.
With the coming of this musical instrument, it is oftenly the allegations on the singers that the quality of the singing is degrading. So, are you in favor with this argument?
Sir, I would not say the quality is degrading because we still have very good singers. But now what has happened is that even average singers, because of this auto-tuning and all these things, they have also come at par with. When we listen to the songs, we do not find that lacking in them also. So somewhere that has certainly happened.
Are you aware about the word nudge? Nudge.
Sir, I've heard the word, but as far as the meaning of it, I am not aware about.
So you may not be aware about how ghazal is different from Najm and the song. Are you aware? What is ghazal?
Sorry, sir. Sir, it is a kind of Hindustani classical music. It's a specific variety of it, sir. But the technical nuances, I'm not aware about it.
What is mukta, matla in the singing? Did you know?
No, sir.
What is your option?
Sir, political science and international relations.
Yes, sir. Very good, very good. So, we can expect that you have some knowledge about the constitution as well.
Yes, sir.
President appoints some constitutional posts, like judge of the Supreme Court,
Yes, sir.
other posts as well. There is a word hand and a seal that is used in appointment process of Supreme Court judges and High Court judges.
Yes, sir.
But that hand and seal is not used for some other post. Are you aware about the meaning of this hand and seal and why it is specially used for judges only?
Sir, I'm not aware about why it is specifically used for them and avoided for the others.
Who is your favorite thinker in the public in this year PSIR?
Sir, Aristotle
Yes, sir.
and Kautilya, sir, the Indian thinkers. I like their thoughts.
So Kautilya's Arthashastra.
Yes, sir.
So Kautilya proposed Saptang theory.
Yes, sir.
So would you please elaborate the Saptang?
Sir, basically it is known as the organic theory of state. Now, Kautilya believes that it is not just one organ of the state that is important or that is the only thing that needs to be focused upon. But state itself is an organism and various organs are important for the proper functioning of the organism. So he mentions that king, ministers, the durg, the fort, treasury and allies. So all these play an important part for the proper functioning of the state. We need to focus upon each one of them for peace, prosperity and security of the state.
In this Saptang, basically the Arthashastra laid down the proper code of the conduct for the king as well.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? And in this Saptang, Kautilya talk about the spy system as well.
Yes, sir.
And in this spy system, he basically talk about a enemy country.
Yes, sir.
So who is enemy country? Did you study it in this Kautilya's theory?
Sir, according to Kautilya, your neighbor is a natural enemy. So because land is a source of prosperity and land happens to be limited, so there will always be a struggle between the neighboring countries. So, and it's not just he mentions the neighboring country, but the allies of the neighboring country also happens to be your natural enemies. And the enemies of your neighboring countries happens to be your natural allies. So he talks about a geopolitical theory in his famous Mandal Siddhanta about these things.
Okay. One more thing I have noticed here in your PF, you are admitted to the MA. No, you have done your MA?
I have done, sir.
Okay. So you are admitted in 2015.
Yes, sir.
You completed in 2020.
Yes, sir.
Why take 5 long years to complete the MA? It is a course of 2 years only.
Yes, sir.
So why take 5 years to complete?
Sir, actually I completed the first year in 2016 itself. But sir, in December 2016 when I joined Nabard, I could not take the exams for the next subsequent 3 years because of my official limitations and engagements. So only sir in fag end of 2019 I could get some leaves for the purpose.
Okay. And it is from which university?
Sir, it's from IGNOU.
Oh, okay. Indira Gandhi National Open University. It is open university.
Yes, sir.
So, don't you think the open universities, they degrade the quality of the education system in India?
Sir, I would not say they degrade the quality. Rather, they make the education system more inclusive. Because, sir, the reality of our country is that not everyone can go for courses because of their geographical limitations. They cannot access some higher educational institutions because of their work environment, because they are working somewhere. So for them also, sir, we need to ensure some kind of an educational avenues. So definitely, sir, they cannot replace say attendance based institution, but sir, still given the circumstances, they make the education more inclusive.
And what about this online education system? Would it be a good substitute for the open universities?
Sir, I would not say substitutes, but complementary to the open universities.
Okay, good. Last questions. What is the color of your this coat?
Black, sir.
It is a black in color. Color of your tie?
Sir, it's dark maroon.
Dark blue. With some white shade as well.
Yes, sir, some dots in between.
What about the knot? It is a double knot or triple knot? A single knot tie?
Sir, actually, I don't know how to tie.
Did you make it yourself or you take help
No,
of
sir.
some other?
I do not know how to tie a knot.
Okay, so you take a help of some other.
Yes, sir.
Why it is maroon only? What is the logic behind its maroon color?
Sir, maroon is one of the more formal colors, sir. So that's why I
No.
choose it.
I'm asking about the physics behind it. Why maroon looks like a maroon?
Sir, because it reflects maroon.
But that is the basic question, gentlemen. Why it reflects maroon only?
Sir, because it absorbs the wavelengths of all other colors and only reflects this particular wavelength. Sir.
Okay. This is what is the color of it? Green.
Yes, sir.
So why it only reflect the green wavelength, not other wavelength?
Sir, because of its intensive properties of absorption of.
You're making the answer. You don't know the answer.
Yes, sir. Maybe I'm
Fine.
not.
Very formal interview is over.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So one thing, the last question you can see in that there are some few suggestions from our side.
Yes, sir.
Last question you see here, you are trying to make the answer.
Yes, sir.
So if you don't know the answer, you already have a very good interview. Most of the questions are answered at par, even satisfactory answers are given. So if you don't know the answers of some technical questions, don't try to make the answers. It is better to say, sorry sir, I don't know the technicality.
Yes, sir.
You know, actually it is basically the atomic structure of everything that
Yes,
is
sir.
responsible for the color. Because the light that falls on it, it leads to excitation of the electrons
Yes, sir.
and the excitation, and in this process a particular wavelength is released.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you don't know the answer, there is no harm in saying the no, right?
Thank you, sir.
Because these are the factual questions. We cannot suppose that everyone knows the everything. No?
Yes, sir.
So this is the one thing. Second thing, what I noticed in your answer, first is the positive thing about your interview. Your answers are satisfactory, right? Knowledge is also appreciable. In fact, you have a sound knowledge about your field like agriculture. That is appreciable. And you take the balance approach as well. Like some of the questions were controversial, like about the burqa. No? You take a very balanced approach over there. That is fine enough and even appreciable. Your confidence is good. Your attire is also good. Everything is good. Like you have your answers have confidence as well. Sound pitch is also fine. And you give a appearance to both board members. If there are more than that, more than 2 means 4, 5 members are there. So member who is asking the question primarily addressed to that person, but once in a while you should look at the others as well. You are doing that. That is good. So as per me, you are a good candidate and deserve the selection. But there are few points that you should take into consideration. We are here for the suggestions only.
Yes, sir.
At one time, I noticed you used the word he. Right?
Yes, sir.
I don't know at what place, in which question you use the word he. It could be like, it may be possible in that question when president was asked, role of the appointment of president was asked, you use the word he. So avoid he. Right?
Yes, sir.
This is the fun suggestion. Second thing is, once you take the name of a political person as well, means name of that minister, sports minister or science minister, state minister.
Yes, sir.
You take the name of that person as well. There is no need to take the name of any political person.
Yes, sir.
Right? We can say, the bureaucracy is known by the post, not by the name. You notice that even some students take the name of the Prime Minister as well. This is the PM Modi says this thing, that.
Yes, sir.
That is not required. Right? Because these are the media terms and even the bureaucracy is known by the post. So better you should address like Honorable State Minister. That is fine.
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Prime Minister. That is fine. No need to take the names.
Right,
Okay?
sir.
वो बाकी जो सर्वे लिखे गए हैं, हाँ तो वही लिखा है, कॉन्फिडेंस इज गुड, कमांड इज गुड, प्रेजेंटेशन इज ऑल्सो गुड, सो बाय एंड लार्ज इट इज फाइन। कब है इंटरव्यू?
सर अभी डेट नहीं आई है।
अभी डेट नहीं आई।